How many tattoos can you put on top of a tattoo
Me,
before it's just
40.
Before it's like you got like layers of ink sticking out from like your chest or something. It's
Depends on how detailed the tattoo is. You guys make it more detailed.
Yeah, but if you put ink on ink, will it eventually be raised up?
We know it can,
like textured.
You,
It's like a
you-
3D.
You could get like abs tattooed on, so it's like you got like a six pack, but it's just tattoo ink.
We know a guy who got, I'm talking belly button to like right below the neckline, full on his chest and stomach, Pikachu. Remember, you know the guy I'm talking
Yep.
about? And he thought that was the funniest thing.
Someone
and then,
bet him $1 he wouldn't do it.
Yep. Yep. He was huge. It was huge. And then he was just like, one day he was like, oh man, that kind of sucks. And so I think he covered it,
You gotta
right?
cover up. Mhm.
Yeah, but you could see, if you looked at it, you could still see the Pikachu inside the other design. You can totally see it.
So it's like when you
awful.
paint a wall. You got to get a second coat on there.
This is the same dude who he went to a party. He went to a party, and it was a drug dealer's house.
All right.
And the drug dealer made friends with him. This is like one of those guys that's like can make friends with anybody. And he goes to him. He says, the drug dealer says, "You want to see what $1 million looks like?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." So he takes the guy to somewhere in the house where they open a compartment. There's a vault. He opens the vault, opens it up, cash right there. That's $1 million right there. That's what $1 million looks like. The guy was like, "That's pretty neat." They walk out to the main living room of the party. Goes up to his friends and goes, "We're gonna steal $1 million." They came back. They got the vault all the way out of the house. Like they unbolted it and dragged it out of the house. And the truck they had rented to lift the vault up, like it had like a lift on the back of the truck, wasn't powerful enough to lift the vault up. So they couldn't get the vault up into the truck. And he
it's
would
just
refer
on
to
a
himself as a former millionaire because he had $1 million for like 30 minutes or something like that.
He's trying to steal a safe from a drug dealer? Like, at what part did this sound like something that's going to work?
It sounds like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, that would never happen.
Yeah, something like Breaking Bad or something. Yeah.
Yeah, except in Breaking
And
Bad,
I think
it wouldn't work.
the way the whole thing ended, I think a neighbor came out and shoot him off. That's the way it worked.
Put down the $1 million.
Which if he listen, if he'd stolen $1 million, that's a horrible thing, and I would never tell that story. But at the end of the day, the guy didn't lose his $1 million. The honest drug dealer didn't lose his $1
police
million.
just
And this guy had a funny story about the time that, like, if I came home and someone had ripped apart my bedroom and pulled my vault out of my house, probably dug a channel, like dragging that thing or whatever, through the house, but they didn't steal it, I would still consider that a victory. Like, it's sitting there in the street, like, heavy as can
What
be.
if they did $1 million worth of damage to your house getting it out? And
They
like,
can't, it's not possible.
well, I got the $1 million right there.
If they did take it and you were like contacting the police, would you have to tell them what's in it? Could you say like somebody stole my, my safe?
They're probably going to
I
ask
need you
what's
to get
in
back.
it.
Like, but do you
That way
have
they
to
can
tell them
identify
that?
it. Yeah, I assume they want to know that, yes.
They can just identify the vase, or
I
the,
mean,
not
they
the
would-
vase, the safe.
Well, I mean, then they can just cut the money out of the safe. What do you want, the empty safe back?
You would find, if you had $1 million in there, you would find a way to get the money
think
out.
so?
You do, yeah. You would do that.
I mean, literally, like, I don't know how I would. Like, what would I do?
You?
Yeah.
You would
Do you think the value makes...
Google it.
Do you think the value would increase your motivation to get the money out? Like, if there was $50, you'd be like, nah.
I don't know. Maybe. What's the pause? Are you okay?
Yeah,
You having a stroke?
Of course, it would
Sounds so
absolutely
What do you mean, of
influence
course?
Yeah, but like how much? Like, so say there's $100
you.
million.
$1 million worth.
We went over this with the life insurance thing. Is that I never discuss with the people in my life like what my life insurance policies are because it
But
puts a price tag
eventually-
on you. And you
Yeah.
said at the time, "Oh, that's bollocks." I said, "What if I told you my life insurance policy was $50 million?" You're like, I would kill you.
But if it was impossible and you'd exhausted everything and you just given up, you'd just be like, oh, screw it, we're never getting in there. But then you find out there's like another 900 million in there. Would you try more?
Here's the problem I've got. Here's the problem I've got with that. Let's say you're in that same scenario. Okay, it's like if it's $100,000, would you give up after 6 months? Mm-hmm. Something like that. Let's say it's $10,000. You might give up after like can't do it. You've broken like a $500 worth of tools already. It's that amount. I'm curious about your scenario. Like, what would be the amount? For me, it would be. I mean, even $50,000 would be enough to keep me going and like bust the safe open.
Why?
It'd be like it'd be like your weekend project. Be like, man, I can't wait for the weekend. Gonna try to bust into the safe again.
Hell yeah.
I mean, look how many. And look. If you want to think about interest, look at how many fucking times safe doors get posted on Reddit. Like, oh, I bought this house and look what I found. It's this safe. Everyone wants to open a fucking safe. Nobody's like, oh, I gave up on the
Right.
safe.
Yeah.
Everyone wants that safe open.
So here's the other question too: is like, what is more motivating? knowing exactly how much money is in there, or having no clue what's on the inside of that safe?
That's what I was about to say. If
Yeah.
you didn't know, like, how big of a motivation would it be to find out?
Bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, my imagination is way better than like anything there. I'm thinking there's like
I wonder if it could prolong
Nazi
your.
gold.
the Lindbergh babies in there or something, you know?
Being breastfed by Amelia Earhart.
Do you think it would prolong your life, like this scenario where the dude's starving to death, but then he sees a sandwich? Do you think if you were starving to death and you're just like, ugh, there's no food anywhere, I'm giving up, but then you saw a safe, do you think that different values would make you go different distances?
No, I think the safe wouldn't matter to me at all at that point.
Why?
Is it a safe, like a refrigerator safe? Is
No,
there
it's
food
just
in
got loads of money in it.
it? What would I do? I'm starving.
You're dying, yeah.
You can, I don't know, buy something to.
But
get
if you
food.
can buy something, I mean, how are you in this scenario?
Is there money or a safe?
All right, you know there's food in there, but there's also money in there. There's a sandwich,
money,
but
a
like,
jar of honey.
but like, say it's like on the horizon. You got some time to go. There's a sandwich. There's 50 grand. Would you just be like, ugh?
I could live.
But if it was $1 billion, would you go there?
$1 billion
$1
sandwiches?
billion?
$1 billion.
Yeah.
You go for the sandwich if you're dying.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The
I would
money's
go to-
irrelevant at that point.
I guess it. Yeah.
I would go to the safe because it's the only thing in the around that indicates people. I would just go towards that because it's
Like,
a structure.
I'm dying of starvation.
I
There's
would
a
like-
sandwich in that safe, but it's only got 50 grand in it.
You imagine you got you in the middle of a desert and it's like you're walking along, you see a restaurant, you're like, oh, McDonald's. Blah. No way. I tell you what, I think like if I ever got stuck in the middle of the ocean, God forbid, knock on wood, that never happens. If I get stuck in the middle of the ocean or something like that, I think I would make it.
No.
What do you mean?
I think I totally would make it.
What are you?
You'd be pulled
Or like
down.
the Gray, or was it the Gray, the Liam Neeson movie where they're in
Yeah.
the wilderness with the wolves?
Yeah.
Just keep walking, keep walking.
No.
Yeah, but if you're in the ocean, you can't fucking walk.
You can swim.
What?
You're
You
just
get
gonna
pulled
just
down.
keep swimming
People-
thousands of miles.
People are amazed when someone's able to swim like 3 miles back to shore.
Yeah,
You're in
know-
the middle of the ocean, 3,000 miles from shore.
know
I
how-
mean, within reason here. Come
you know
on.
how England and France is connected by the channel?
I don't.
A little bit of water.
I didn't grow up there. I have no idea.
Well, I
what you're
mean, there's
talking
the English channel.
you know the English Channel.
about. Right.
I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
The chun for sure.
BBC.
It's like they're very close to each other. It takes like 12 hours to swim.
What? It's like 40 miles or something?
Yeah. It takes like 12 hours. No, I think it's like 120 miles.
It's that much?
It takes a long time to swim.
How
it.
long?
120 miles? Is it not? I don't know. That could be anything.
Is it like
But
a,
either
are you
way-
saying a big lake or an ocean?
Let's say Big Lake. Let's say Big Lake.
Okay.
Look at it
I'll
on,
go
a,
Big Lake.
look
Okay,
at
I
it
can
on
see
the
that.
map. Look at the ocean on the map, and then look at the gap between England and France. You can't swim that. You can't swim from the middle
I
of
bet
the
I can swim
ocean.
in the English Channel. You put me in the middle of the English Channel, I'm swimming back to shore.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We could do this. Realistically, we could do this for like
listen,
under
the-
10 grand. We could
The
do this.
Strait of Dover's the closest point between England and France. 20.6 miles.
10
Oh, it's
miles?
way
I
shorter
got 10
than-
miles in me.
What did I say? 120?
You said 120.
I don't know.
It's okay.
At
be
its widest, it's 150 miles.
Not everybody can know
That's
everything.
what I'm
So,
thinking.
yeah.
Gavin, you know a lot about a lot. You should be proud of what you know, and don't worry that you don't know everything.
But would you be willing to spend
Yes.
10 grand of the company's money? You and I fly to France or England, and you swim the channel.
I sound like I'm just paying for a trip for you to go to France. and England.
I've already been to both those places.
Well,
I don't,
but you,
I'm
you
not,
need Gavin there. That way, if you're like swimming and you're halfway through the channel and
I'll
you're
just
losing
throw
hope,
money at you.
know, you get a sandwich on like a rod and reel. You're like, come on, Burnie.
There's a difference between getting out of a boat where there's 8 fucking idiots with iPhones filming me and being dropped and being swimming for my life. There's a total difference there. If
So-
you had to keep swimming, you would make it. You would make it.
I would not make it.
You would make it.
I would not.
Gus
make it.
wouldn't make it.
I don't float.
That's true. Gus
Remember-
would make it.
not true.
I don't float.
Breathe in. Breathe all the way in.
You think I haven't tried that?
A human floats.
I do not. I float under about 3
What
feet of
great
water.
advice.
I fall
Why-
about 3 feet,
Why do you float?
and
under-
that's where I start floating.
Why are you buoyant at that level?
I don't
Surely,
know.
Do you have like no
surely
lung
you're gonna
capacity?
sink.
I think I have good lung capacity. I don't know if I
Then
look
you
at my
should be
dick,
fine.
but all right.
Surely you would sink or you would float. You wouldn't float just a slight
I
amount below
sink
water.
a little bit,
Yeah,
and
buoyancy.
that's where I float.
Sure. He reaches that equilibrium.
Why is it 3 feet below the surface?
I don't know.
It's enough to kill me. Like when I swim, it's a struggle to stay above the water.
You like doing
Like
doggy
I can
paddle?
do it, but it's like there's no ease to it.
I think you just haven't done it right yet.
No, I've been swimming since I was tiny. Ever since I was a really little kid.
Have you gone to swim at Barton Springs?
Yeah,
It's exciting because it's this
not in a long time.
giant like pool basically that's what, like 20 feet deep.
I don't know.
And once
I
you're in the middle of it, it's not like
Full
a
of
pool.
algae.
You're just like, well, I have to really keep going or I'm gonna die. Like there's no way out of this situation. Because like when you're in a pool and doing laps, you're just kind of like, I'll be okay.
Why?
But there's
Why are
like
you
something
okay?
terrifying
Because you can
about
touch
it.
the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. You bounce off.
Or
the
you're
floor.
like 5 feet away from like the side of like the side of the pool. But there's like some like emotion there. That's like this is.
But it's not like Barn Springs is huge. You're still really close to
Yeah,
the
but I
side.
can't swim very well. So like for me,
It's got
Here's what we
seaweed
sh-
on the bottom too. It's got like plants. You know what your feet going.
Yeah,
in
but
there.
if you get a little snack.
Do you
you're like,
think? Do you think you'd float in the Dead Sea?
That's a good question. What we should do is have the company fly me to the Dead
Yeah.
Sea.
Yeah,
I'll
what
go
is with the
too.
company
I'll
flying
film it.
people everywhere? When did this come in?
What are we gonna do? You want me to fund your swim across the English Channel?
Yeah,
Why would I pay for that?
because it's your idea.
It's content for the company.
Yeah, that's fine. Put on slow-mo, guys. You'll be good.
Yeah,
Okay.
film me floating under 3 feet of water for slow-mo.
In slow motion.
Like
Guys,
you
it'll be
seem-
like this graduate.
I love how you seem like we go there and spend all that money, and then everyone's just shooting on an iPhone.
I mean,
Like,
that's how I would
the
do it.
Yeah,
production
of
style.
course. You do 240 frames a second now.
Somebody said they swim 4 miles a day on swim team. Totally doable. She says, got it.
Yeah.
Totally do it.
That's someone who swims every day. When's the last
I'm
time
talking survive. I'm not talking like get a race.
Okay,
and,
here's
like,
what's
get
happened.
out and be
You've
the
been
Coppertone
swimming
baby.
for
What?
3 hours straight. You've been swimming, just exhausted at that point.
Yeah.
You're numb. It's cold. You need a
The
rest.
cold would be tough.
You need a rest. What do?
You float.
What do
Didn't teach you that in like swimming?
Like float on your back?
No, you do the dead man float. You like put your head under the water and you float.
You put your head under the water.
You hang like a jellyfish. You hang your legs and your feet, and you float like that.
That's how you rest?
That's how you rest.
Well,
And
you have
then
to hold your breath.
Well, then you put your head up and you breathe.
But
That's
that's
not
not
a
resting.
rest. Holding your breath over and over again.
Versus swimming and treading water.
Well, I figured you'd float on your back. Like
Yeah, that makes more sense.
so you can
You can do
breathe.
that too, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
just having a
it's
rest.
Way
I mean,
easier
this
to float.
proves you're not ready to do it.
Yeah,
Your first
you're an
instinct is
idiot.
to lie face down in the water.
It's a technique that they teach to do. It's called the dead man. I'm gonna look it up.
I like when
You know
he's
why they
resting.
call
There's
it
gonna
that?
be like
Because people die.
there's gonna be like
Men die.
rescue helicopters just passing above him. Like, oh, that guy's dead. I'm gonna keep going.
Also, you have no direction, no sense of direction. You would probably, while you were doing your dead float, probably drift back again. That's a funny.
Yeah,
thing.
that
All right,
looks.
what are you wearing in this scenario? Like, are you prepared, or do you have like
I
swimming
assume-
gear on, or you have like jeans and
You
shoes
can probably
on?
take your. I mean, it's easy to get out of your clothes.
One of the
Yeah, but so then are you
requirements
swimming like naked or in
is
your boxes?
a Navy
And?
question. I don't know if it's Navy. It was in a Navy forum. One of the requirements for passing the swimming portion at OCS is supposed to be a face down prone float. I have no clue what that is. Can someone fill me in? Someone wrote, otherwise it's known as a dead man's float. It's pretty easy. Just lie there face down. You come up for air when needed. You repeat every 5 minutes.
Are you reading Yahoo Answers?
No, I'm reading it. This guy has a very lovely
Breathe every 5 minutes.
bikini model for an avatar. So he's clearly
Don't you breathe every 5 minutes, Gavin? This sounds like a totally viable solution.
repeat it for 5 minutes straight. I
Yeah,
think it was said.
duh. Every 5 minutes, come out and breathe.
You motherfuckers. All right, hottest survival float.
Sounds like the dumbest method ever.
You keep reading that. I'm going to read this while you keep looking that
There's
up.
2 methods of survival floating. The number 1 is face down floating. The number 2 is black floating.
Face down.
What's
ass
black
up.
floating?
Let
That's
your
the
arms
way
and
I
leg
like to
dangle.
float.
Your arms may float up to the surface. You may need to kick your legs a little after taking a breath. Raise your head when you need a breath of air. If you need to, bring your arms down. Good Lord. I know what I'm talking about. I would survive. Everyone
Nope.
else would be dead, and I would be victorious.
Nope.
That's it.
Nope.
I'll tell you what I'd love to do. I would love to go have a podcast in the world's quietest room.
We should take the fucking binaural head.
We'll get the company to pay for a trip.
There we go. Here it
Can
comes.
we import water from the Dead Sea? And I can float it in a corner of the
can have
world's quietest room.
You guys are just so full of shit. You guys can go fuck yourselves. When you're dead in the bottom of the ocean, I'll be laughing. When I'm floating face down, I'll be like, blah, 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 blah. That's what I'll be doing. Laughing so hard.
How quickly would you give up? Like,
Not
you just
at
get
all.
plopped there now.
You're missing the story. I wouldn't give up.
Look,
That's the point.
Look, shut up. You get plopped in the middle of the ocean.
Done.
Fun and games, ha ha ha.
Yeah, it's
how quickly until you're like, seriously, guys, get me out of this?
like 10 minutes. I mean, I would seriously be like, get me, if there was an option to get out in 10 minutes, but if I got no option to get out, I'm swimming. One of my nightmare scenarios, I never want to be in the water. Because it's the same thing as you. When I fly in the plane over the water in LA, when I'm leaving LA, look down, you see all those fucking tankers, those massive tankers that are going back and forth between the continents. I read once that 14 of those ships produce as much pollution and carbon emissions as every car in the world.
Wow.
14 of those fucking ships.
Like, wow, that's crazy.
Could they not be solar powered?
Yeah, right. Make have Titan make drones for them. But I see those things. I would never want to be in the water and like have to like somehow signal or get the attention of one of those enormous tankers as it's going by. It just seems like that would be
It's like a
impossible.
dangerous proximity. You want to get close so they see you, but not so close that the thing drags you under.
Oh, that's so horrifying.
Yeah.
The whole thing. But just knowing it's like right there, but you're never gonna yell loud enough or anything for the people to see.
Just pick up a fish and throw it at
Is
the
there
ship.
like a
You're like, get your flounder. Whack.
Jam myself into a whale blowhole and then shoot up there. That's
is there
what I
an
would do.
official procedure that you're going to go through if you're trying to flag a ship from the ocean?
In a lot of life
They're like,
vests,
let's
they
not
give
pick
you a
that guy up.
light.
He's not doing the official procedure.
No,
What's
like
that?
to get attention, not to like
Leave him
signal.
there,
Yeah,
fucking
he
prick.
doesn't need help.
He's a phony.
Like, is there a place on a ship where there's always a place you can grab on or something?
No,
Like
I
a
don't believe
universal
so.
rope that's on every ship?
I don't believe so. I mean, the thing you could get lucky is if there's a school of dolphin around a thing. Although I don't know that I keep hearing about dolphin. Dolphins are getting kind of freaky like lately, and it's just like I don't know.
It's all the Viagra being flushed into the ocean.
Honestly, if I ran into a school of dolphin in the ocean, I would actually be legitimately scared.
Well, because you think you get done.
Yeah, they sexually assault people.
I think if you ran into a school of anything in the ocean, you should be terrified.
That's true.
of it.
No, there's no question. Listen, anything that's native environment is the ocean. If I'm in the ocean with it, I'm wary of that thing.
Did you ever see? There was these type of fish that they all lay their eggs at the same time, but they pick a piece of like floating crap, like a big leaf or a bit of wood, a bit of sea drift, and then they
Flotsam,
they what?
a little flotsam,
Yeah.
flotsam and jetsam.
So this school of fish will then just go ape shit, laying eggs all over it, and it's like a frenzy, like sticking eggs all over it, and like fish are getting stuck in the eggs, and they die, getting trapped in all the eggs that are being laid around them.
Can
And
you,
it's-
can you imagine being trapped by a bunch of jizz? Something in the middle of the ocean.
and,
you
the,
die.
and the camera
Gross.
the camera
Gross.
zooms out at the end because as it's happening, it's like there's like eggs and jizz and all this stuff everywhere, and then the camera pans away and there's all these
Brazzers
fish
video.
that are like with the little eyes poking out of it. It's just the weirdest thing ever, just to see life taking so many lives.
Yeah, it's the process
Yeah.
of like passing along to the next
Go out with a
generation.
bang.
Hey.
Well, it's like salmon. They swim. They kill themselves swimming back up to their spawning grounds, and then is salmon? I don't understand this. Are salmon freshwater fish or are they saltwater fish?
Fresh.
Because they're in rivers, right? But then they go to the ocean. They swim around the ocean. That's like can't be both.
Are they both? Are
can't-
there two different kinds?
Can't be both.
Well, what is in a fish that determines that? Is it like the gills? Or
The
I have
salt
no
or
idea.
the lack of salt?
I don't know. I mean, we're not saltwater people. Put us in saltwater, we're bad shape. We can't handle it. But it's freshwater, we're fine
Why are we finding freshwater?
because it's lower salinity. Like you can drink freshwater, you can't
Typically-
drink saltwater.
Okay, I'm gonna butcher this word.
You ever drink saltwater, Kevin? You know that, right? You know you can't drink saltwater, right?
Yeah, I know.
You've been told that, okay?
Yeah, but I
Just
mean,
wanna make sure.
I wouldn't drink out of a river either.
Well, yeah, it's not ideal to drink out of a river. You totally could if you had to.
Typically,
It would not be ideal, but you could do it.
Spoil it.
Typically, salmon are anadromous. They are born in freshwater, migrate to the ocean, then return to freshwater to reproduce.
Wait, how do you migrate to salt water from freshwater?
You
Isn't it
follow
usually
the
like
follow the current.
no? But I thought that's always separated. Like
He's
it's
not
like a
asking
pond
like Google
or like
Maps. He's asking how do you
Take
make
a
the
left of the
transition?
rock.
I thought it's usually like you have fresh like it's
In
like
17
a lake.
miles, go splash. Take the exit to the Pacific.
Where's freshwater and saltwater like connected?
At the
Fresh
river.
water-
Okay, never mind. I bail out. I don't
Like
know.
the end of the
no, no,
Mississippi.
no.
Like I get it. The Mississippi is freshwater and it
Freshwater
dumps into
flows
like
into saltwater.
okay, yeah, no,
Well,
all
don't
right.
they like hang
like rivers and rivers. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Isn't it like
I
water?
thought it was just like two bodies of water, and it's like,
they're
all right,
in a
we're
lake,
gonna cross
then
the
they take a
horizon.
they got on a flying fish, and they go out to the Pacific.
Yeah.
They take a vacation. Then they take the return flying fish back
You
to the
should have
fucking
said
lake.
river.
But that's
River makes sense.
but that's a hard transition when you come out of the mouth of a river into the ocean. I guess the freshwater does carry out a little bit into the ocean at the mouth of a river, but it's got to like get to like saltwater pretty fucking quick.
Doesn't
Yeah.
one of the waters float on the other one as well?
That's a good question. I would guess that saltwater would be denser because the heavy salt in like the Dead Sea makes you float.
Right.
So that would make it denser than freshwater.
Is that what makes you float? The salt?
I believe that's what it is. Yeah.
I thought it's because it's below sea level.
No, it's the salt.
No, it's salinity.
How would that help? I'm curious.
How
why
is
you
the sea
think-
below sea level?
It is the level.
Well, it's the sea. It's like below ocean level, isn't it?
No, but that's not what you said.
Well,
It's
you don't
also
call it.
called sea level.
Why do you float in the Dead Sea? I'm gonna look it up.
So
Why?
according to who is this? Reclaimer104 on Twitter, salmon have to spend a day in brackish water, and their body adjusts from fresh to salt water or salt to fresh water.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's,
What,
it's,
are
it's a
there any, like,
layover.
are there any brackish water fish that just live in brackish environments? What's brackish? that's fucking.
I love it
made
when
up.
you
I feel
talk about
racist saying
subject.
it.
Yeah, that's made up. That's like saltish water? Is that what that is?
I guess.
Brackish? Like brine? Nah.
List of brackish aquarium fish species.
No way.
I cook my pasta in brackish water.
Guppies?
What's a guppy? Guppy's not a real thing. There's no one's ever gone out to like the lake and caught a guppy.
When is it illegal to make animals fight?
Four-eyed fish.
Four-eyed.
I picture a little fish with fucking glasses.
What? Salt concentration of the Dead Sea fluctuates. Whoa! That's high.
I love the idea of a news anchor doing that in the middle of the news.
Yeah. In other news, there was a shooting. Whoa, that guy died.
Jesus.
Oh, hold on. 31.5% salinity in the Dead Sea.
What's like a typical ocean then?
I don't know. I would have thought like
I'll look it up.
2% salt. 30 of it's salt?
What?
That's salty as fuck.
You asking when is it okay or when can you not make animals fight?
Yeah, like when is it illegal to make two animals fight?
I think if they don't need to eat one another to survive, then it's bad. Because like you can have a snake fight a rat.
Not really much of a fight. though.
No,
I was
but
just
it's like
thinking of,
okay to put in there.
I was
but
thinking
if they
it's
don't
kind
need
of-
to eat it,
It's cruel when two people buy those Siamese fighting fish and one of them just brutally murders the other. Like, why isn't that illegal?
You can't even put the bowls. You heard about betas? Beta
Yeah.
fish?
Yes.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are.
They have like the really fancy frilly like fins.
Yeah.
And if you put the bowls next to each other, they will like ram the bowl too to
That's
try
awesome.
to get to the other ones.
The Pacific Ocean salinity, it maxes out at 37 parts per thousand.
So that's 3.7%.
37 parts per thousand.
Yes.
3.7%.
So yeah,
That's the regular ocean.
that's the Pacific Ocean, the maximum
And the
salinity.
fucking Dead Sea's 31% salt
That's
salinity.
crazy.
Salt concentration in the Dead Sea, it fluctuates around 31.5%.
And is that why you
This
float?
is unusually high.
It's nothing to do with sea level.
If you gave me a glass of water and said make it 31.5% salt, that would be hard to do that. To like dissolve that amount of salt in water.
Is
That's
it literally
crazy.
like volume to volume? Like if I had this much water and I put this much salt in, would that be what that is?
You have to stir it.
I'm assuming that's what that is.
How much salt do you have to put in until you can see salt?
Sea salt. I have no idea.
Like,
Why
does it
is
have to
hot
be-
water
does it
come
have
out
to
of the
be
pipe
more-
white? Why does that happen? Why does it come out a different color than cold water?
Doesn't.
What?
It absolutely does.
What are you talking about?
Everybody knows that. It's more aerated or something, hot water.
You mean you're talking about the bubbles that come out with the water?
If I pour a glass of cold water and I pour a glass of hot water and I said, look at them and say, which one's the hot water? You would be able to tell
You're
me.
a raving
Do
lunatic.
you have
You
a
are-
dirty hot water heater?
No! This is my
So
whole
white?
life. This is my whole
And
life.
in your mind, is like cold water just blue?
You guys don't know shit.
Like that's what
you
you.
don't know anything about the world. You guys don't know how to survive in the ocean.
Face down in it. And like, oh, this water's really good.
You guys are not going to call me out of this. It's absolutely true.
Any water that's
Twitter.
under strain or is
Tell
moving
us.
fast is white.
Hashtag RT Podcast.
No.
Yeah.
Uh,
Look, do this in a bath. That bit was white.
First of all, I don't take baths. You're the kind gentleman who takes baths all the time, which we found out about you.
I don't take baths all the time.
Oh, you put a little bath bomb in there?
I tried a bath bomb and it was bloody disgusting. It like piss. I tweeted a picture of it. I didn't want to get in it.
Then you jump in there?
It was like all the water went to piss and there was some crumbs left from it that looked like shit.
a bath bomb. Where'd you get a bath bomb?
It was a leftover Christmas present.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, Meg got a bunch of Christmas presents for people and they didn't give some away and one was a bath bomb.
And you said, I'm going to take this bath
Well,
bomb.
I'll give it a
I'm
go. Never had one before.
going to bath bomb it up.
I was very glittery and I smelled good, but it did not look good.
It is okay that you enjoyed it. I just want you to know that. It's
Did
okay.
you?
Baths always
So,
look disgusting though when you're
baths-
done with it. It's just like nothing but like black.
Yeah, but
water.
before you get into it.
Baths
got
are gross to me because I don't want to lie in water, in like dirty ass water.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
you're so silly.
shit is getting liquefied out of my butt.
No, it isn't. No, why?
Yeah, and it's getting rehydrated out of my butthole, and it's just like floating around with me. And when I step
Wait,
out, I'm clean magically.
Why is
no,
Yeah.
Why is there a chunk of feces in your bath?
Right.
it's like your butthole. Poop
Why-
comes out of your butthole.
Yeah, but it's not
Your
on your
butthole,
butthole.
maybe.
Do you leave Grogan's on your asshole?
There is shit there. You think wiping paper on your butthole gets it all?
A
Yeah.
wet wipe does.
Yeah, wet wipe helps a lot.
Do you use them?
I absolutely do.
So your anus.
I'm convinced.
Your
I'm
honest.
percent-
convinced-
No, there's always going to be
I'm
fecal.
convinced
It's
my-
always.
A butthole is never clean.
Yeah.
It is impossible to clean an
It's
asshole.
the most disgusting thing on earth.
And I'm getting in water with it, and I'm clean when I get out. No, look at you. You're disgusted just thinking about it.
your butthole.
Well, you're no fun.
There's
So
fecal
baths-
matter everywhere. Though.
Baths are awful. Oh,
That's
there it
my
is.
bath. It looks awful. It looks like poo in piss.
Oh, that
'Cause
looks
it is.
horrible. That looks horrible.
Have you ever
That's
tried
before
to?
we got in.
Like if I'm gonna be forced, someone puts a gun in my head, says, "Gus, take a bath." Like, can I take a shower first? I'm gonna take a shower after, because that is fucking gross.
Look, a bath is fine. You really, only get the crap on you when you get out of it anyway.
No, you're floating it. You're not. I'm not floating in it, but
But it's
you're
floating
laying
away
in it.
from you.
In a tiny little container.
You think like pieces
What floated away from you in that picture we just looked at? Nothing can float away from you.
if it's not gonna like the piece of poo in the liquid isn't gonna be like zoop, onto your skin.
If you were
It's floating
clean,
independent of you.
if you were clean and you fell in water that looked like that, like somewhere else that's not your bathtub, you wouldn't say, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm still clean." You'd be like, "Oh my god, I need to take a shower."